Hello everyone, this is Chase again, and we are back with another unboxing of another new APH product. This time it's the Book Port desktop called the Book Port DT, which is a larger version of the Book Port Plus that I've talked about quite a bit. This has the same functionality as the Book Port Plus has, but includes some other functionality, including a bigger speaker, an Ethernet port if you don't want to use Wi-Fi for connecting to the internet, support for Bluetooth audio, and just because it's a desktop size unit designed to sit on a table or desk, the buttons are a lot bigger and easier to feel. I have in front of me my box containing my Book Port DT. This is exactly how you will see it when you get your Book Port DT in the mail. To open the box, if it's sitting in front of you correctly, you'll feel a little flap that you can pull out towards you. And once that's pulled out, you can just lift up the top of the device, pull back the two flaps on the side, and now we're into the box. The first thing that you feel on top is a braille sheet which says Book Port DT Quick Start, and it talks about place Book Port DT on a flat surface, etc. So this will get you started with the basics of your Book Port DT. And as I said, that's in braille. I'll set this off to the side. Underneath you will feel plastic, which contains a few things, including some print information, as well as a CD, and the CD contains the book transfer software used to send content to the Book Port DT, and it also includes a bunch of books and radio stations and podcast feeds that you can send over to your Book Port DT for enjoyment. Setting that off to the side. And underneath we find the actual Book Port DT. Now this is packaged in such a way, I'm taking it out now, that it is wrapped in plastic, and on either side is a piece of styrofoam that is just keeping it secured and from getting banged up. So I'm going to take off the pieces of styrofoam and just put them behind the box. Take out the other one, there's one on each side, and now we find the bag that contains the Book Port DT. It's taped shut. Once you pull it open, you just slide the Book Port DT out, and we find the Book Port DT. I'm going to set this off to the side. We'll talk about it a bit more in just a second, though. Now, underneath, we find another bag, which I'm just going to pull off. This contains a very, very nice carrying case for your Book Port DT. If we open this, we find on the inside a piece of packing material that just keeps the case secure, which we don't need, so we'll just throw back. We also find another pouch. If we open this pouch, we find a shoulder strap that can be connected to the carrying case that can be used to carry your Book Port DT over your shoulder. And you can use this pouch to carry things like earbuds or NLS cartridges with you if you want to have them in a secure spot. This is Velcro, so you could make it stick to the outside of the case. Also going to set this case over to the side because I'm going to show you how to put the Book Port in its case in just a second. On the side, we'll find a small box. Opening the small box, we will feel the Book Port DT's AC adapter in a bag that is again taped shut. I'm going to pull out the AC adapter, which just unraveled. Yours will probably not do that. But on the Book Port AC adapter, it says BPDT in all caps in Braille, standing for Book Port Desktop, so that you can always identify this charger. Note that this is not the same charger that's used with your Book Port Plus if you have one, so this charger should be kept separate. And that's all that we find in the Book Port DT box. As you can see, it's now empty, so I'm just pushing this back, and let's look at the Book Port DT itself. We're not going to describe all of the controls built into this today, but what I want to talk about is a thing that's installed on the Book Port DT by default called the mask. This means that not all the controls are visible. As you can see right now, a lot of the unit is covered by plastic. We have just a few controls visible, and these are the controls needed for your most essential operation of the device, including play, pause, as well as a power key. This is very nice for people who aren't comfortable with having a lot of controls, maybe very young students people who just have trouble understanding more complicated controls, or elderly people who just want to listen to a book without the advanced controls. If you want advanced controls, including the ability to navigate files a bit more, going by page, section, things like that, or if you want to be able to access your menu to change your settings, update your device, connect to a wireless network, etc., you'll want to remove this mask and see all the controls. If I lift up the front of my Book Port DT, you will feel on each side a little tab that sticks out a bit. I'm going to grasp each one on each side on the bottom of this, pull out, and I'm just going to lift up, and as you saw and heard, the mask popped off. I'm holding the mask in my hand, and if I set it aside, you will now notice that the Book Port DT contains a lot more controls and a lot less plastic to feel. The most noticeable of these is a telephone keypad in the middle, which was completely hidden by the mask. And so this is the Book Port DT without its mask installed. You can successfully use Book Port DT no matter if it's in the mask or not, but this is your choice depending on what you prefer. I'm going to grab my carrying case, which is sitting off to the side, bring it back in front. I'm just going to open it with the Velcro as I showed you a minute ago. And when it's opened, you will see that there is Velcro on either side also. This Velcro about maybe a third of the way from the front, moving towards the back, you'll feel two Velcro flaps that meet. If I pull these apart, I did the one on the left, now I'm pulling apart the one on the right. The case is now opened, so we can slide the Book Port DT. We can almost just set it right in there. You might have to just lift up the sides until you can get it to feel like it's in there securely. But just lift up the sides until you feel like it's sitting in the back and that it's covered by the case. You then pull the side up so it's slightly on the top of the book port, and you fasten the two pieces of Velcro on each side together as we discussed earlier. Now the Book Port DT is in its case, and you can see that this is a nice case, and if we fold it shut by lifting out the front and moving the carrying strap out of the way, sealing the front, the Book Port DT is now completely concealed, but it can be used in the case. So this is a very nice protective case, which might make you feel a bit more secure in transporting your Book Port DT. Before we end, I know a lot of people will have questions about the size of this unit, because desktop might make you think of maybe a desktop computer, which is a lot bigger. This is still very portable. It's a lot bigger than the Book Port Plus, but it's still very portable. But for the sake of comparison, let's compare it to the NLS player, which most of you that live here in the United States will be familiar with. This is just the free player that NLS sends out. I have these just side by side for comparison. Now, the Book Port DT and the NLS player are oriented a bit different. The NLS player is oriented so it is longer than it is wide. Book Port DT is the opposite. It's wider than it is long. But if I turn it sideways, they are just about the same length. If I put the Book Port on top of the NLS player, you'll see that it is just a bit wider when it's sideways. Again, you orient it different, so it's normally going to be wider. And the thickness is roughly the same. The Book Port DT is slanted so that it is thinner in the front than it is in the back, where the NLS player is just a constant thickness. So in the front, it's thinner than the NLS player. In the back, it's about the same. So the Book Port DT is probably just a bit more portable. In terms of weight, the NLS player is pretty heavy because it has a power cord built into the back of it, whereas the Book Port DT is a bit lighter. So this should give you an idea of how these two compare in terms of size and weight. Now that we've unboxed our Book Port DT and compared it with the size of the new NLS digital player, that's going to conclude this first look at the Book Port DT. We will, of course, be back soon describing its basic operation and the use of all its controls, but that will do it for today. Thanks for watching this unboxing, and we hope that you have found it helpful.